Welcome to Off the Top Sports. My name is Adrian Gonzalez, Big A, and joining the Off the Top Sports family, we have Brian Belsito, aka the Big Cheeto. Brian, how are you doing today?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the welcome. Thanks for the lob pass. I'm glad to be here. What do you got? What do you want to talk about tonight? There's a lot going on. First,
we got to give a shout out to Sperber and Josh. Josh, get better. Sperber, climb out of the woods. I haven't seen you in a while. But big news, baseball is back. We got the boys in blue. We got your boys in orange.
We do. Got the champs.
You can call them that. That's cool. The Dodgers are on a pretty hot streak, and only fitting that the divisional rivals would put an end to that streak.
Yeah, it was a nice win last night. It's interesting. Scoring is down in baseball, but somebody didn't tell that to Adrian Gonzalez.
Oh, no.
Because dude has been tearing it up.
He is on a streak, and I love the fact that everywhere I go, people are saying, Adrian, you're doing awesome. It's a completely different Adrian. God stole my dream and gave it to him, but paperwork's mixed up somewhere. But I'm proud of the guy. It's really exciting to see him. He started to tailor off. The home runs aren't coming as often as we'd like, but he's hot.
Yeah, he's a great hitter. He's a great player. And Kershaw has been a little bit off, but I'm sure he'll find his game because that guy is the man.
As of tonight, Kershaw had about 7 strikeouts when I last checked, and the score is still tied 2-2. So he'll definitely get the no decision. Giants fans, don't worry, that gap between the Dodgers and the Giants is going to narrow out. It wouldn't be the NL West if there was a complete blowout one way or the other.
Yeah, I agree. It's early in the season, and the teams, we won't know what the teams are really all about until probably about 40 games in or so. That's how I usually gauge it. You get your peaks and your valleys and stuff like that, and the Giants definitely started in a valley this year.
And the Dodgers,
they miss Hunter Pence big time.
And the Dodgers are notorious for getting these good streaks and then getting their cold bats every once in a while, and I'm hoping tonight maybe will be the coldest that we get. Speaking of streaks, Mike Trout, he seems to be the Angels' only hot player at the moment.
Yeah, they've been struggling. They've been struggling, and I saw Pujols earlier tonight strike out with the bases loaded on a ball that was in the dirt that just did not look like him at all.
Angel fans, don't boo the poo. As one of my coworkers will say, do not boo the poo. He will step up. He's elbow Pujols for a reason. And,
absolutely.
Baseball is so new right now that if we just talked, it's all speculation. But we're pretty good at speculation. So keep in contact with us if you think the Dodgers and Giants aren't going to get close. You haven't been paying attention the past couple of years.
We both got to watch out for the Padres because they've played some good ball here the first couple weeks too.
I can't believe I forgot about Matt Kemp.
Yeah, oh yeah,
our boy Matt, chip tooth, hurt hip. Matt Kemp is he's a Padre now. Shout out to my little baby niece Amelia. That's still your boy, but you're still a Dodger fan. So Padres, enjoy him, take good care of him. He will be a loyal player.
It's always an odd sight seeing a regular from your team somewhere else because I'm still trying to get used to seeing the Panda in Boston. So they got to keep him away from the chowder because he might get up to about $4 there if he gets a little too much chowder.
What are you, some sort of panda? But we got it's kind of like seeing your girlfriend with a new haircut.
Yeah, this is true.
You'll cringe and may not lay down next to it at first, but you'll get used to it.
This is true. Another team that's been flying under the radar, I think, is the Mets. They won their 10th straight tonight.
Shocking Mets. The Mets are for real so far, but 2 weeks in, Mets enjoy it because New York, you want some good baseball and. It's once in a blue moon when you'll have both of them.
Yeah, and the Yankees are looking a little bit like they're on the downturn a little bit, but who knows? They may throw some money at it and fix it at the trade deadline or something like that.
Forget downturns. We have an upturn for your boy. Is it fair to call him your boy? Barry Bonds?
Yeah, you can call him that.
Home run king.
Yeah, he got some good news today, didn't he?
I was hoping Mott's would sponsor him with their juice. But why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the good
if
news?
you didn't hear
I'm a
the
little
news
bit behind.
today, he got his federal conviction overturned by 10-1 in the jury of the Court of Appeals. So no obstruction of justice. He may obstruct your view with the size of his head if you sit behind him at a ball game, but no obstruction of justice.
No obstruction of justice. What do you think? Does this get him any more Hall of Fame votes back?
I think that's probably that ship has sailed. If this could go, I could go on this conversation for a long time. I have a pretty unique view of the whole thing with the steroids era, and I think that that era is tainted. The media pushed it and has pretty much tainted it. I think that's pretty much a done deal for guys like him and Clemens and McGuire and Sosa. It's sad to say. But I guess you make your bed, you end up having to sleep in it. So,
and it's a shame because you have so many great, talented ball players who, without juice, would have definitely been Hall of Famers. And
Yeah.
just because you're from an era doesn't mean you should be taken out.
right. My take on that is, I mean, we've got the guys that we know because they've tested positive. We got the guys who have been suspended. That should tell us that there are guys that were never caught. So how level was the playing field? We'll never know. So if I was a voter, I'd vote those guys in, but that's just because it's part of baseball history. If you want to put a little syringe on their plaque or put them in a little corner off to the right, these guys put up numbers that were unbelievable. And like you said, Bonds in particular, he was a Hall of Famer before all of that stuff. His first 10, 12 years were amazing. Then came all the power numbers.
If you go back to Barry Bonds with Bobby Bonilla and they were the Killer Bees,
Absolutely.
I was a fan.
Yep.
I will openly say I was a fan of Barry Bonds when I was a kid, and you'll never take that away, no matter how much I dislike the guy. Me just being a Dodger fan, but as a sports talk analyst, I was a big fan of Barry Bonds.
Yeah, those teams that they had in Pittsburgh were pretty good. I mean, there was a Dodger connection there because you have Van Slyke was playing center field for those teams back in the day, and those squads were pretty good. And like you said, I don't think you can really take away the accomplishments, especially with a guy like that did so much early in his career.
Absolutely. Moving on before we run out of time on this, NBA, and the only reason I'm rushing this is because as we speak, Clippers and the Spurs are in overtime, and there's about 4 minutes left. I'm trying to get a reload
That's
on
showing
my
that
score.
that's 4 minutes in the fourth. They're still in the fourth, 88-83, I think.
Oh, just kidding. My
Yeah,
fault.
it's fourth,
That's
right?
fourth quarter.
Yeah, but it's still a ball game.
That's my bad. I apologize. Anyone who's hearing this tomorrow and is thinking, wait, it went overtime? I should have turned off the game. That's completely my fault. Next time you see me in the street, you can punch me in the arm.
Looks like Duncan's having a big game. Father Time's never going to catch that guy. He's going to play till he's 90.
I'm pretty sure at this point Tim Duncan's a vampire. I mean, the guy is just never going to age.
I would agree with that.
But Brooklyn lost to the Atlanta tonight by 5 points. And Atlanta's leading that series. I was expecting a little bit more out of that, but I'm sure Brooklyn will step up on the next few games and at least make it close.
Yeah, I think they'll get one when they're back home.
And then Memphis totally beat Portland, and it's kind of an embarrassing score. I'll let you look that one up, but Memphis seems to like they're going to take this away.
Yeah, they beat them up pretty bad in those two games in Memphis, so Portland's got to regroup when they get home.
They're doing better than I am. I'll just say that. Moving on, it's ice season now, and this diehard Kings fan is normally rooting for the Ducks when they're in the playoffs, and then right now I'm just kind of neutral. I'm just paying attention to hockey for hockey's sake. But the Ducks, bring out the broom, Ducks, quack quack quack.
Yeah,
And he swept the Jets.
I'm a little neutral too at this point because I'm a Flyers fan and they didn't make the playoffs, so I'll shift to the local team at this point and say go Ducks.
I called it in the middle of the season. I think the Ducks are going to take it all, and if they don't, I'd frankly be shocked, and I don't want anyone to call out and say, "Hey, you said the Ducks were going to take it." I mean, it is hockey, and you have by far some of the toughest athletes in the world, and anything can happen in the playoffs. But the Ducks are on fire, and they've been on fire, and their front office knows how to handle a situation like
That
this.
they do. They've been there before, done that type of thing. Looks like they took Winnipeg apart pretty well. So it'll be interesting to see how they do in the next round.
Dismantle Jets.
Yeah.
Going on, we have Blues and the Wild. They're tied. That's a great series. That is one where I wish I was paying attention a little bit more. You have two small market teams, and they're playing some really good hockey right now. So
Yes,
good
sir.
on them.
Yep.
And then Rangers have a 3-1 series lead over the Penguins right now. And
As a Flyers fan, I have to say that's a kind of a bittersweet one right there. Both those are rivals of the Flyers, but if I had to go for a team in that one, I would go Rangers all the way because Pittsburgh's not a that's a bigger rival, it seems, with the Flyers. So.
Absolutely. And then Ottawa avoided their sweep tonight. Goalie Craig Anderson, 28 saves, just not letting anybody into that net. Good for him, and that's what I like to see. I like defense and I like offense, but give me a good goalie every once in a while, and that just makes it exciting because everyone's shooting on him and everyone's thinking they're going to be that shot in. But if a goalie's on fire, that's good hockey to me.
I agree. So what do you think? We got Mayweather Pacquiao in 10 days here or so?
Absolutely.
Weeks? Finally.
Finally, that is the word we are all waiting for. Pac-Man and Jeremy over there is calling it years.
Yeah, this is a fight we should have had 5 years ago.
Do you think this is a diminished fight? Do you think that Mayweather owning as much as he does in hockey has allowed this fight to get to the point where Pacquiao isn't the fighter that he should be fighting?
I think that's a fair statement. I think it's still going. That being said, I think it's still going to be a good fight. My take on it is I think that Mayweather at this point might, like you alluded to, might just have a little bit too much for Manny. I'm going to be pulling for Manny, but I think you might be onto something there.
So we're going to go to our Twitter poll question, and you can find us at Off the Top Sports. I forgot a word. Anyway, do you think that an athlete, regardless of Mayweather or not, do you think an athlete should have as much control in the sport that he's in as Mayweather does? And you can use the hashtag OTTS Mayweather yes, or OTTS Mayweather no, whether you think Mayweather shouldn't have or should have that much control over a sport. I frankly think it's borderline insider trading. If your organization pays the refs that are going to be doing your fight, you're just too close for my comfort.
I would agree with that. I also read something today where Money was trying to control the music that Manny was going to walk into the ring to. I think that's a little over the top.
I also heard through the rumor mill that when Pacquiao was trying to hire bag striking coaches, Mayweather would pay them more to not go with him. And I don't see how that's ethical. And being a good old American boy, I usually root for the American boxers, but this one, I would love to see Pacquiao dethrone the king. We haven't seen a good underdog win in boxing in years, and I think it's about time boxing got exciting again.
Yeah, we're in agreement there too. I think I would love to see in boxing is a compelling American heavyweight get on the scene. It's been a while since we've had anything like that. So.
I think we need to relinquish control and get it back to the hands of the unbiased professionals, much like it was prior to Tyson. So we're going back to the 80s when boxing was the sport of kings again. But
when
it could happen again.
Holyfield and Michael Moore and these guys were trading off the championship back and forth to each other. Tyson, as you said, it's just a different era now. I think MMA has kind of crushed traditional boxing at this point.
Absolutely. Dana White is a huge fan of boxing, and he would be the first one to tell you he wants it to be exciting again. If boxing's exciting and MMA is exciting, the UFC will benefit from that. Speaking of the UFC, we have a fight this Saturday. we have Mighty Mouse Johnson versus Coyote. Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to try to say his first name. Horguchuchi. This Saturday. They're both 125 pounds, both scrappers, both strikers. It's going to be that's going to just be a very close fight, but I see Mighty Mouse taking that at the end. I'm not going to get into the other fights right now just because I haven't researched them as much as I normally do. But Mighty Mouse is all business. The other day I was watching, I was just being a lazy fat bum, and I was going through YouTube, and these 4 comedians tried to do an interview with Mighty Mouse, and he was the only one not going along with jokes.
Didn't go so well, huh?
So even when there's comedians interviewing him, he's
all business.
All business, and he even said, "Hey guys, what is this, amateur hour?" I laughed at that, but I because I love a good joke, but God knows if I'm serious and I have a stick up my butt and I want to get something done, I'll do it. But so it'd be cool to see a good fight. Who knows? I think Mighty Mouse wins it at the end. Maybe a decision, but I can't wait to see that one.
I'm not an MMA guy, so I'll go with Mighty Mouse too, just because of the old school cartoon nickname. So
the guy looks like Mighty Mouse. I mean, don't tell him I said that. That guy could beat me in 15 seconds with one hand tied behind my face. That was supposed to be a joke. So we can't end any show without a punchline.
He's back.
Tim, drop on one knee. Tebow is an eagle.
That is big news.
That is, it's news.
Chip Kelly rolling the dice. I think he's collecting quarterbacks over there. That's like 10 of them. Last time I checked, you only need one, right?
He's like my old neighborhood old man who has all these broken old cars in front of their yard, but none of them work real well.
There you go. Something tells me that he's got something up his sleeve that he's working on with the draft. I have a feeling he's going to go after Mariota, but it'll be interesting to see how Timothy does in camp.
Full disclosure, my degrees from human movement from Cal State Fullerton and Tebow, just if someone can work on his mechanics, please.
I read an article. They said he was working on his mechanics with Tom Brady's quarterback coach, his personal coach. I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name. Doesn't matter unless he teaches him to throw like Brady, exactly like Brady.
There's only one
Maybe
guy.
right-handed will help.
There's one guy who throws like Brady, and that's Brady.
This is true.
And even then, it took him a while to get to his to where he is now.
Yes, sir.
But you really think this is just a ploy for the draft, huh?
I don't know. No, I personally think that the Eagles picking up Sam Bradford is part of a package deal that they're going to throw together to move up to 2, unless the Chargers pull it off first, because there's some rumors out there that the Chargers may trade Rivers to Tennessee to get that 2 pick because they're enamored with Mariota. But I have a feeling that Chip Kelly is looking at Mariota as the guy that can run his offense like a well-oiled machine. And if you're in Chip Kelly's position and you're going to go out big. Do it your way. Get your guy, and if it doesn't work, then they can move on.
And if it's none of that, I don't even think Tom Martinez can turn Tim Tebow into a Tom Brady.
I think you're right there.
For Off the Top Sports, my name is Adrian Gonzalez.
Had a great time, Adrian.
And this is Brian Cheeto Belsito.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having you. Well, love you guys. Yep. We will see you later.
Till the next time. Out.